But it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's freezing cold. And I posted yesterday about making another video about when I saw heaven. And I've been wondering why he wants me to do it again, but he does, so I am. He's allowed me to remember more about it. Parts that probably have an important role that I may have left out of the other one. But I think it also serves a dual purpose. The rapture stuff's got to stop. We're taught to test the spirits. And well, if that spirit that doesn't produce fruits of the spirit, then that spirit is invalid, and a liar, and a hypocrite, and a false prophet. If I had my way, I would come to every one of them and bind them. I'm asking. I'm begging him, actually. But he'll deal with them in his own way. It makes me so mad and sad that so many people are being deceived. Anyway, you detest the spirits, and if spirit doesn't produce any fruit, then, well, this is my testimony of my encounters with God and the fruits that He's allowed me to produce. The fruits of the Spirit are prophecy, healing, casting out of demons, converting, bringing His children to Him, so I'm going to tell everything that He puts into my head right now that He allows me to remember. I will put on this video. One of the things that they say that is what happened with Paul when he got bit by the snake. No poison could harm him because he was chosen. If anybody's watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm an addict, or was an addict. And it never really dawned on me until yesterday. He pushed it into my head. I was an addict to beat all addicts. I tried as hard as I could for as long as I could to kill myself. Constantly. I have done enough cocaine at once to kill 6 or 7 people. I had overdose once. Nothing happened. I have tried to kill myself by drinking Raid and everything I can mix together from underneath that kitchen sink. Well, not this kitchen sink, but the kitchen sink I was at. I got heartburn. I have flipped 2 cars and came out without a scratch. I have the one that sticks out of my head right now is I just bought a Nova. I was like 16. It was me and 3 of my buddies. We were going 4-wheeling in it. We were going to get stoned. We were going to smoke weed is where we were going. And I'm going up this dirt road doing about 60. And I hit this pothole, and on the road was what an earth-moving dozer. It's not a regular bulldozer. It's like 10, 12 feet high, steel, 2-3 inches thick. When I went down into this pothole and came out, I was going right for it. Right for it. When the car landed, it landed 6 to 7 feet off to the right. At the least, it should have caught my side of the car and tore the car right in half. Now, unless a gust of air came mid-flight and pushed this entire car, there's no other explanation except for God. I should have been dead. We all should have been dead. he pushed that car and saved me because he had a purpose for me. And that wasn't the only time that he had saved me. Throughout my addiction, throughout my entire life, since I was a little kid, I wanted to die. I hated this place. I didn't know why. I see pictures when I'm 4 or 5 years old, and you can see the pain in my face. Like a 6-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid is not supposed to think that I want to die. Once I got into my addiction, obviously it got worse. But there were times where I figured it out. Like, I was going to go get this much stuff. I got the money. It's all set up. I'm going to do it. And that's it. And every time. Now, I'm not talking once or twice. 3, 4, 5. I always got booked that day. And ended up in prison. The last time was September of 2006. I had just done something to make enough money to get enough stuff to kill myself. And I was going. Like it was a done deal. It was done. I would have been dead within the hour. I start walking up the hill by my house, and I look over. There's state troopers, detectives, SWAT team, Viper squad in this sand pit looking for evidence for some crime with the girl that I was with at the time. Needless to say, I went to jail that day for 4 years. 4. He always sends his messages to me through numbers. 4 and 7. Every time I remember the 2 biggest times that the one time I saw heaven was November 17, 2003. And when I was in prison this last time, I'd already posted, August 7, 2008, I flushed all my drugs down the toilet and stopped biting my nails at them. Because of him. I felt him everywhere. Anybody who's felt the Holy Spirit knows that feeling. It's the most beautiful thing. I love it. Anyway, he has always been directing me towards where he wanted me. He never let me. Every time I get too far out, he'd rein me back in. He was always with me. And I don't even like saying it, because I'm nothing. Nothing. I don't like to sound arrogant, or I don't even like to say it. Like I was chosen for something. And the reason I was chosen is because of who I am, who I was. If he could take someone like me and flip me around, it's just like Saul, Paul of Tarsus. And by the way, that is the closest description that I can find to what happened to me. I didn't see Jesus like Paul did. Heaven opened up right in front of me. There's been countless other times, car accidents, people shooting at me. I've been shot out 2, 3 times. Never a scratch. About heaven. You need a little bit of the story before you can understand how big of a miracle it really was. I was locked up from 98 till 2000. I got out in 2000, kept violating. He gave me a 6-month hit on work release. I escaped, went to Miami, got caught, got sentenced to 2 to 4 years. The girl I was with at the time ended up pregnant, so he let me go back to work release so I could be around my kid and try and take care of my son. I escaped again. Got 2.5 to 5, less a day, less 2. When I went in front of the judge, I said, "Please, Your Honor, I cannot do work release. Please, I'm begging you. I have a bed in a halfway house in York, Pennsylvania. I'm already accepted. Please let me go." He's like, "Listen, you do 90 days on work release, I'll let you go wherever you want." 9 days later, I escaped. Now, when I escaped this time, it was different. I don't know how to explain it. They weren't looking for me. Like, he kept them off me. He let me run until I had had enough. So I go to see this attorney to appease my grandmother, and the attorney tells me, listen, I'll help you. You go to rehab. Now, I'd never been in rehab. I'd been in like a mental 7-day, 3-day hold, and then it turned into a 7-day kind of a rehab thing, but never a real rehab. So I go to rehab, and I'm a mess. Like, it was one of the worst. No, not really. Yeah, it was one of the worst runs I was ever on. I was on a death run. So I get there, and they say, you got to be honest. So I'm like, all right, you want honest? I escaped from Mercury's. Like 2 days later, the clinical director comes and gets me out of a group, says, come on, I'd like to talk to you. Gets me in his car. We drive down the hill away from the main building towards the offices, and they meted me out that day. Like, they knew I had rabbit in my blood. They upped my medication, which I don't care. Anyway, we get out of the car. I'm looking at him over the hood of the car. He's like, my name's Dick Conboy. He's like, if there's anything we could ever do to help, let us know. And these are the U.S. Marshals. And I look. Excuse me. There's a dude in the blue jackets with nice yellow letters on him. He said, you gonna run? I'm like, I can't even walk. Take me to jail, man. So I get to jail, and I'm sober. It's probably 4 months. Again with the 4. August, September, October. Yeah, 4 months. And one day they called me to pack it up. Where am I going? I thought maybe they're sending me to state, or I don't know. Tell me I'm going to rehab. What? I'm in prison. I'm in county jail serving 2 state prison sentences, but in the county, they're officially state prison sentences. Like, I was supposed to be under the jurisdiction of the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. So I get to this rehab, and I'm like, man, girls, food, yeah, I'll go. Well, when I got there, and I still don't know why, like something started to work on me. Now to heaven. It started, distinctly I remember this, with this dude asking me for a prayer. And I said this prayer a million times, like a foxhole.